Guys, so after we sent that C7 home, after the customer got about 400 miles on it, it died at a red light and would not restart for him, so they had the car towed out. We initially thought, okay, maybe the starter got heat soaked. Pretty sure the car still had a factory battery on it, so start with the fundamentals, start with the basics, and work our way up from there. Let the car cool off, tried to start it, it turned over, so I thought, okay, it could still be a starter, but we need to diagnose it. The car wouldn't start. It was throwing a low fuel rail pressure while cranking code. It could easily be a sensor on the fuel rail for the fuel pressure, so we ordered one of those. It wasn't that. After that, we really thought it was the high pressure pump going out. We tried a high pressure pump, didn't change anything. Eventually I pulled the blower back off, took the valley cover off, pulled all the injectors out of it, was looking everything over, trying to find the problem for the fuel delivery issue on cranking. Out of nowhere, this wasn't like after we put the motor in, we couldn't get fuel. This was a car had 400 miles on it and died at a red light. And now we don't have high pressure fuel. So I had the valley, the blower, everything off the car. I took a 24 mil ratchet wrench, was able to get it down on the crank, turned the motor over by hand. When I turned the motor over by hand, the crankshaft moved, but the camshaft and valve train did not. That's when I knew, okay, we got something going on. We lost the dowel pin, something. I ended up pulling the motor back out of the car. We tore it down and found a broken dowel pin on the single bolt cam. Now this is a rare occurrence. This isn't something that would typically happen. We did check and make sure the bolt was still torqued. That way it wasn't an issue. And going back in the last video, which we'll link in the description, you can see that thing was seated all the way down. The dowel pin is sticking out of the timing gear. So I don't know whether it was just a bad dowel pin, something machining wise, if it wasn't pushed to the cam far enough, I'm not sure. It had us terrified to put another single bolt cam in this thing after the damage that it caused. So what we did was we sent the heads off, we had them gone through, we had some valves replaced, and then we ordered a 3-bolt Gen 5 LT cam conversion from Texas Speed Performance. Now this is a 646 631 lift camshaft. It's got a duration of a 227 and a 239. That's on a 115 LSA. We tried to pick something relatively close to the camshaft that was in this thing. We didn't want to go back with another single bolt cam and risk even the thought of having the same problem. So we got that cam from Texas Speed. We've got a billet 3-bolt 4X cam gear, and we've got a set of ARB cam bolts. We've got a new set of LT4 head gaskets. Like I said, we sent those heads off. We had them gone through. We did have to replace one retainer, and we still have to get the trunnion out of this rocker arm and put it in another LT rocker arm. We are going to install new bearings in the trunnion. We're not going to reuse the bearings that are in this trunnion. We're going to install new ones, but we are going to use the trunnion itself and the clips. And guys, I didn't even know this was an option for Gen 5 applications. TSP-LTV2-3B-blower. Like I said, it's a 227, 239, 646, 631 with a 115 LSA and a 32% fuel load. So we're about to get this thing installed, get these reman heads back on this thing, and get it ready to get it on the schedule to get back in the car. It's a huge learning experience for us at 727. Like I said, I don't know everything, and I learn new stuff every day, and this was something that we learned recently, and I just thought it was a really great opportunity. If you want to get away from a single bolt cam, there is a 3-bolt cam option, and there are select few camshafts that are 3-bolt converted. When a parts failure does happen, we don't try to just jump back and go right back with the same thing. Sometimes we try to find a better solution to prevent it from happening again. But we're going to get this thing back together. I'm ready to hear it chopping, idling away. Now guys, if you're interested in owning this C7 Corvette when it gets finished, drop us a comment and let us know. The owner says it will be on the market, and he will be looking to move the car once it's running again. I'm sure he'll be in the comments below. He will respond to you guys. I'll tag him in the description, and we'll try to help him get rid of this thing, get it on to the next owner, and let this thing rip and let somebody enjoy it. Let us know in the comments. Big shout out to O'Reilly Auto Parts. It's our exclusive parts store here at 727 Motorsports. Anytime we need anything, they bring it out as quickly as possible, just like the fluids for this C7 bed. Man, I saw something else on the video too. I thought this was cool. I'm always looking for a pocket screwdriver or a razor blade to knock this out. Some people like to push it down, but then if you drop it in there, you're absolutely screwed. But I saw a video where the guy took the lid, flipped it over, and used this end right here. I was like, what? It was No Way guy, Sean or whatever his name is. And dude, that is a what no way moment, let me tell you. Of course, it's not going to work very well on this one for me, but get the idea. Check that out. Just in case you didn't know, some of y'all will probably be in the comments like, yeah, we knew that, but I didn't, so.
What you thinking? Oh, busting out the test light.
Oh, motor's grounded. Well, we'll try it.
Alright, take two. What'd you find?
So down at the bottom of the block by the starter, there's two grounds that come out of the main harness. From where we previously diagnosed the issue and pulled the engine out of the car, we had the main starter cable, the hot that comes from the fuse block to the starter. We had that pulled up and looped up here by the fuse block and mistook it for a connection that goes to the fuse block. So essentially we had a line that was connected to the fuse block, looped and connected to the fuse block again, when one end of that needed to go to the hot on the starter, and we were just grounding both sides of the starter. So what we can do is jack the car back up, take that 13 off the starter, move the ground over to the block where it's supposed to be, and then we're going to drop this cable down, hook it to the starter, and this thing will do what it's supposed to do. Won't take but a few minutes, but it's just the little stuff sometimes you miss or overlook or don't know what eyelet on a wire goes where, but we'll figure it out.
scanner.